Hey friends, today's been a good day for me and I hope it has been for you as well. Today is a very special video as we're going to take a trip down memory lane. Today we are playing two games, and if you remember growing up around the early days of Flash on the internet, you might recognize these. We're going to be playing Purgatorium and Goliath the Soothsayer. I remember almost nothing about these games, but I did try them as a kid, and this is a video that's meant to be both nostalgic and scary. Now before we get into the games, I wanted to talk about something. I think one of the biggest determining factors of happiness is how we handle our own personal peace. But what exactly do I mean by that? How many times have you exposed yourself to something or involved yourself in something that you really didn't want to do? Or maybe that you wanted to do in the moment, but you know it will have consequences on your mental health down the line. This could range from being pressured by your friends and family to going to a certain event you're not really interested in, to a smaller scale example, like social media. I remember years ago when I first had an Instagram, I was getting into a pattern of logging on, going through my feed, and it basically ruining my day. I was a lot younger and a bit more naive to the world, so I would see people on Instagram with tremendous looking lives or perfect physiques, and slowly over time doing that every day would start to make me feel a bit worthless, like I wasn't measuring up to the standard I kept seeing online. So I got rid of it. I asked myself, why do I keep doing this to myself every day? If you notice that your mood starts to sour a bit after browsing things like Twitter or Instagram, maybe it's time to remove them from your life. That negativity really can build up and affect the rest of your day. I love you guys and I hope you're safe. And with that, we're gonna start with game number 1, Purgatorium. And before we get started, a real quick flashing lights warning for both of these games. We are all born into this world as nothing more than a lump of clay, but it's the sum of one's life experiences that molds the wicked man. Thomas P. Evans. This is going to bring back memories of a simpler time. Memories of my brother and I huddled around that old, big, cream-colored, fat-screened computer, family computer that we had, the Dell. And we would just play these Flash games for hours and hours, scaring ourselves with the horror ones and just having fun with the silly ones. I remember... Oh my god, I remember this room. This is how I felt when we played The House 1 and 2 many videos back. Oh, okay. Where am I? What is this place and how did I get here? Okay, I didn't even touch the chair and it just stopped dead. What's going on here? A baby's crib sits in the corner of the room. It's filled with an odd mixture of blankets, cushions, and toys, but there is one particular doll that is very disconcerting, yet oddly familiar. So this just appears to be a haunted room? It's a Winnie the Pooh mat. I used to have one just like this when I was young. That's probably the only fond childhood memory that I can take with me to my grave. So this person didn't have a very good childhood. It's just a diaper nappy hamper. Going on the smell that is emanating from it, considering it recently soiled. Okay. Okay. I would rather not go perusing through it right at this moment. That's fair. A small plastic bin is propped up against the back wall. A severed head skewered with a barbecue fork for good measure. I can probably use this fork, actually? For what? Alright, this just escalated quickly. It's just a window, but beyond its glass is a vast oblivion of darkness, really. The old music box has stopped playing that haunting song. However, it is odd that I am starting to feel a heightened anxiety with every moment that passes without the tune being played. Why is that? A double frame sits on this shelf and contains drawings and a poem. From here, I can't make out what it says exactly, but it seems to be a child's poem about frogs trying to cross a pond. This is the only door out of the strangely haunting room, but it seems locked. But I might be able to pick it with a small thin object. Okay, probably with the fork, I imagine. Let's check the crib. What a macabre piece of work this doll is. What on earth is something like this doing in a baby's crib? It looks like the eyes of the doll have been scratched out by a sharp object, leaving nothing but the dark emptiness filling the remaining cavity. And why is this here? And why is it covered in blood? Hello? I hear a baby crying. I'm still getting the text as normal. I don't know what happened. Ooh! I didn't expect that. Who are you? And that's the vast oblivion of darkness. Most of the space under the cot is occupied by various blankets and sheets. However, there's one part which has nothing underneath it. Can I? Ooh. Something small that looks like it could be a pin has fallen down the back of the crib. Is there anything else? I guess we can use that thing to unlock the door. And now everything's creepy. So I don't think... Standard power outlet, maybe if I could short the power out with a tool. Oh, there we go. Does that do anything? I'm using the fork to short the power, but I don't know what that's supposed to do. That's disgusting. Okay, why is the door bricked in? Am I trapped in here? I have to get out, but why is there a brick missing? Okay, so now I don't know what to do. What if I do? Oh! Okay, open the door, then short it. And now we can see what it looks like outside. Bill Rydell murdered. Family slaughter. Police were unable to save a woman and her 8-month-old son from her mentally ill husband, Bill Rydell, today, as he bricked his family into a room and proceeded to mutilate them with a variety of household tools. Authorities arrived on the scene to find the house burning uncontrollably and all 3 members of the family deceased. So the mother, that was... Oh, okay! Happy Halloween. It's not even remotely close to Halloween, but I should have expected that from a Flash game. So, the mother that was in the rocking chair and that baby doll covered in blood was meant to represent, you know, them both going, we should say. That was so cool, and it really brings you back to... I swear that these early Flash horror games are like... such foundational concepts to indie horror as we know it today. I think they're full of creativity, especially you know, around the limitations of Flash. Really cool experiences, and we're gonna play another one coming up next. Okay, so this one is called Goliath, the Soothsayer. And we start with a flash grenade. That is quite the logo intro there. Universal Records presents. A game based on a story by the Mars Volta. This is Goliath the Soothsayer. This is crazy. I remember this game, like this, the attic that we're in, but I don't remember that intro at all. It started a week ago. My brother had been missing for the better half of a year, and we had all but given up any hope of finding him alive. It was as if he just suddenly disappeared from the face of the earth, leaving everything behind. It was decided that his affairs and finances should be handled and closed off immediately. You'll never guess which lucky sibling got that job. Initially, everything was relatively straightforward and simple. That is until the first night in my brother's house. Strange noises and dark whispers plagued my sleep. I remember running and stumbling in my vain attempts to escape the horrors nestled deep in my dreams. And I awoke the following morning, not in the bed to which I fell victim to exhaustion, but on the cold wooden floors of the attic with no recollection of how I came to be in this room. But most disturbing of all is my only exit was mysteriously locked from the outside. I've been in this attic for days, unable to escape whoever, whatever, holds me captive in this room. I can hear them in this house, in the walls, and in the floors. They utter obscenities and demand reverence. I sometimes even think that I can hear my brother's voice amongst the cacophony of vitriolic abuse. So here I sit, tormented and driven to the brink of insanity, and no matter how loud I scream, the voices shriek back, louder. All that I know is that I must now escape this prison and find a way to release myself and my brother's soul from the bondage of this evil. Somewhere in this house, the answer waits for me. Here we go. So we start in the attic. Yeah, this I remember. Light streams through the window. Through it, I can see the backyard and the forest that this property backs onto. I could break this window and scream for help, but with not another house within 5 miles, I'd be wasting my breath, okay? That's odd. There's a thick line of salt on the floor here spanning from one side of the door to the other. It's almost as if whoever placed this here did so in an attempt to create a barrier. Earth on the floor is empty. If I could pick the lock, it wouldn't help. The door handle freely turns, however the door doesn't budge. I'm no handyman, but it seems to me that this side of the handle rivet is threaded and won't work. Perhaps the handle will work from the other side. Here we go. This is from the sports jacket. This is the Our Father prayer, Roman Catholic prayer card. And we could, yeah, okay. This is so familiar. An old musket. And we don't think it'll work. Under the chest drawers, I've spotted a rope. Okay, we will go ahead and take that. That goes in our inventory. Okay, and it comes with a cross. Old wooden crucifix. Okay, doesn't look like anything else. So can we go back here? This area of the wall doesn't appear to go all the way up past the rafters. The gap is too small to climb through. However, there's a chance that I can thread something through here to the other side of the door. Let's try the rope. Use rope with this. No. Okay, well that's not working for us. Let's do... Can I use it with the urn? No. And I can't... I can turn this way. It's missing its firing hammer. Okay. I don't think that works. I can't turn around anymore either. And I don't think there's anything else we can do with the... I can't quite see the top of the dresser from all the way back here. Oh! A dark metallic meat hook sits on the dresser. It has a loophole on one end, allowing a line to be threaded through. I don't really see a purpose in carrying this around with me at the moment. Well, can we hook the rope? You've tethered the hook to the rope. We can. Okay. So now we should be... Man, that was... I've been like opening and closing the drawers over and over again. All right, let's try rope and hook through this now. Yes, you've used the rope and hook to fish for the door handle on the other side. Is like a mini game. There we go. I just moved my mouse around until something happened. Oh. This is intense. Like, the look of Flash horror games, I never get tired of it. It's a photo of my brother with two friends. He's the one dressed in the white shirt in the middle. It appears that this photo was taken in the Middle East as it's marked Jerusalem 2005. Light switch, but I think it's shorted. Yep. All right, let's go. Now we're in the house. Light switch for the hallway. Oh, this looks so creepy. This is so creepy. There are more pictures here of my brother, taken of him with various famous landmarks from around the world in the background. He certainly was a traveler. It's odd, though, that he's wearing white in virtually every picture. Small table with more pictures. Look at these old this was like the family computer. Desktop computer sits in standby mode. Oh, we can turn it on? I don't know the passcode. Does he have his passcode around here? Shelves above are just filled with stuff. What's this? Laser printer or something in the paper tray? Murder. In a circle. I don't think that tells us anything about the code. Okay, so for now, I think this is everything in the office. Can we go? No, I don't need to go back to the attic. Oh. This door leads to the master bedroom. This is where I fell asleep the first night and woke up the next morning in the attic. I'll be making that same mistake again. Strange line of salt outside the bedroom door, but this barrier seems to have been broken. In any case, I don't remember this being here last time. Here we go. Bronze statue. Of what? Padded footstool sits at the base of the recliner. Switch for the bedside lamps. Oh, okay. Well, I think we know this place is haunted. Alarm clock must be broken. The panel's displaying a weird formation of characters. Well, if we... Is this the code? 5644? If we reverse them and use the darkened space, then it's 5644. Let me go try that on the computer. Love. A piece of notepad paper has been cut out in the shape of a heart, and the word love has been scribed on it. What could this mean? What could it mean, indeed? I'm having so much fun with this game. Playing these classics. I'm not sure if I ever beat this one. I don't think I did. It probably scared me way too bad. This leads to the bathroom. Okay. 2 wash basins. Only one is a mirror. Okay, that's fine. There might not be anything important in here. We can flush the toilet, though, which is cool. Okay, yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything here. Okay, that's fine. What is this D on the door? I don't know what that means. Alright, can I go this way? This room feels weird. The TV turned itself on. Am I hearing you? Oh, what was that? That thing. A copy of the Islamic Quran rests on a side table. The Holy Quran. So, lots of different items and texts from all sorts of different religions. I wonder what that means. Maybe the brother was studying world religions and that's why he was traveling. I don't think there's anything else I can do here. Okay. Can I go to the end of the hall here? Yes. Oh my goodness. I need to pump the light in here. Ooh! Was that my brother? Stairs lead back up to the bedrooms. Interesting structure for a house. Bronze statue of Buddha placed next to the TV. Just gonna collect more of these. Dinner table like it was left set for a meal. So I have all this stuff in my inventory. And at this point, I don't have any idea what to do with any of it. A Japanese Shinto prayer board. And Emma is hung on the wall here. All right, we're just collecting everything. A page ripped out from a notepad has the word lust written on it. So we have murder, love, and lust. Closet won't budge. Okay, that is likely everything I can do here. And that door is locked. All right, back up to the bedrooms we go. Okay, so I'm gonna say 5, 6, 4, 4. Success! Okay, good. 12th of February, after the dramas in getting from Spain across to Greece, I was quite surprised in how quickly and effortless the trek into the Middle East was. Brad was not wrong when he mentioned how cold it gets in the highlands of Israel this time of year. I wrongfully met his original statement as such with sarcasm. So, anyway, this morning I finally made it into Jerusalem, half expecting a place of quiet spiritualistic harmony. However, once again, I find myself surprised with the cacophony of noise and the speed of life around here. I think I'm going to enjoy the remaining 3 days in this hustle and bustle city. So basically, he gets into Jerusalem. He gets a bag that comes with a Ouija board and a ton of different religious, objects from all sorts of different religions, kind of like the ones we're finding now. Here I sit in the terminal of Indira Gandhi International Airport in Delhi. Unfortunately, I'm restricted to this immediate area as I wait for my connecting flight to Malaysia to start boarding. The air here smells kind of musky, however, unique enough to tantalize my culturally explorative nature. Mental note for my future endeavors in this country, stay away from the airport cafe lamb rolls. They're nasty. It's a hard life, isn't it? As I type this out on my keyboard, I'm lying here on a secluded Thai beach looking out over the ocean with the sunset as its background. Simply beautiful. Tonight is the first night in a while that I've had no plans to do anything. My interest in the board that I picked up in Jerusalem last week has perked up to the point where I might kill an hour tonight playing around with it in my bungalow. Bad idea. Bad idea. The odds are that the board will end up in storage when I return home and only see the light of day whenever I need a talking point with guests, so I might as well get my money's worth out of this thing. Okay. This is gonna sound strange. The board spoke to me. No, not literally, but when I used it for the first time last night, I actually think that I contacted something. Maybe it was just my subconscious manifesting itself with movements of the glass without my self-awareness being engaged. Well, that's what my new Pakistani friend Kazi seems to think. Or maybe, just maybe, there's something more to this board than I had ever hoped for. Not much information was passed on to me through this medium, only a few answers of yes and no to a few generic and boring questions, but still exciting all the same. I received word today that Brad had been rushed to the hospital. He mentioned something along the lines of experiencing chest pains, feeling dizzy, and passing out in a public place. Apparently he feels okay now and was kept overnight for observation. However, what is of greatest concern is that even after the doctors ran a whole variety of tests on him, they still don't know what could have caused what seemed from the symptoms a heart attack. Brad insisted I stay in Thailand while he traveled back home and consulted his own doctor. I could sense he was a little freaked out by what had transpired. Once again, I find myself a little shaken by that board I picked up in Jerusalem. Last night, I decided to play around with it again, purely out of interest to see if I could get similar results this time around. The phrase of the day is, and then some. Rather than the the repeated yes and no to my questions, I started getting constructed words. It was all going very pleasant at first, but what scared me away from the board was when the words, "How is Brad?" formed. Surely my subconscious at work again, because I sure as hell didn't spell it out intentionally. This is getting crazy. Don't mess with Ouija boards. A little experiment this time around. I invited Kazi over earlier today to sit in on a session with the board. Ever the skeptic, Kazi's original reaction to my offer forced me to also offer a copious amount of the local Bintang beer. It didn't take long for the spirits of the board to come out of hiding, and without fail, we were witnessing constructed sentences being formed. At this point, the standard banter between Kazi and I started flying. "You're doing that." "No, you are." To which we agreed to remove our hands from the divining glass at the same time. For a moment, just a small moment, it seemed that the glass moved by itself. I finally arrived back home. After a long trip, the phrase "there's no place like home" rings so damn true. The place hasn't changed a bit, save for the new layers of dirt, dust, and maybe a couple critters making my attic their new home. After the amazing sights and experiences I've had in Europe, the Middle East, and Asia, I'm having trouble comprehending a return to the mundane life of an insurance salesman. As nice as it is to be home, I'm not looking forward to this slipping back into the habit of bored nights staring blankly at a TV screen. At least I have Goliath. Goliath? Where did I get that name from? In reading over my previous entry into this diary, I made mention of that name. I can't remember where I pulled it from, but maybe it has something to do with the unusual nightmares I've been having of late. Or could I have had heard the name elsewhere? In any case, it seems like an appropriate name for the spirits of the board. Speaking of, tonight might require another session to once again kill some time. This guy needs to get a hobby. I just can't deal with another episode of Dancing with the Stars. The rabbit hole runs deeper than I had ever expected. I've been contacting Goliath fairly frequently as of late. I fear that this is becoming somewhat of an obsession for me, but the more I use the board, the further and further I delve into its history, and the more I lose myself. The nightmares have been getting worse. I'm even now started to find myself sleepwalking. And yet he continues to use it. On the odd occasion, I would fall asleep in bed, or on the couch, I would wake up in my attic. Always the attic. I don't understand why. Okay, I'm ready to burn this board. Things have suddenly turned nasty. You are mine. What the hell is that supposed to mean? I ended up deciding against destroying the board for now. However, I did discard it in the corner of the closet. Yes, I'm ready to close the book on that chapter for the time being. Brad is dead. His mother called me today to relay the news. One moment he is walking around and talking to his family, and suddenly he trips on the corner of a rug and hits his head on a granite bench top. I don't understand. I'm devastated. He was just 28. I'm unsure if the distant cackling laughter I heard after receiving the news was coming from the closet or a dark corner of my mind. There is a lot of reading in this game, and I hope you're enjoying this as much as I am, but I like to read these. Brad's funeral was today. It's a sad day indeed. His whole family was there, as was our circle of friends. In talking to them all, there seems to be a streak of bad luck hitting those closest to me. Julie had a miscarriage a week ago. David broke his leg after coming off his bike. Greg and Dana are being audited by the IRS for taxation anomalies that neither were aware of. And then Brad. On another tangent, everyone I spoke to today at the funeral commented about how tired I look. I guess the lack of quality sleep lately is starting to take its toll. I received a frantic phone call at 3 a.m. this morning from Kazi. At first he was talking so frantically that I had trouble understanding him, but after I managed to calm him down, he got to the reason for his call. It seems that ever since he and I spoke to the Goliath spirits in that board, strange accidents and disturbing events have plagued him and those close to him. A strange parallel to what I had been experiencing since isolating the board to the downstairs closet. Kazi implored me to take his request seriously. He apparently consulted with a local medicine man and described to him what had happened when we were together in Thailand and used the board. The medicine man was very stern on what we needed to do to alleviate our circumstances. Kazi referred to the medicine man, calling the board the Soothsayer. To sever our bondage to these spirits, Kazi implored me to split the board up into 7 pieces and along with 7 religious artifacts, bury it where no one will ever find it. The medicine man also suggested that we each wear white for a year to stave off any possible residual harm that may be brought upon us. Worst case scenario, create an unbroken barrier of salt to create safe rooms in the house. Naturally, I dismissed Kazi by telling him that I would take his plead seriously. As disturbing as this phone call was, Kazi was known for his excessive use of medicinal supplements. Let this be a warning, kids. Say no to drugs. Kazi's requests are starting to not seem so crazy after all. I'm starting to hear and feel things around me which defy any rational explanation. Appliances turning themselves on, cold spots in random areas of the room, thumping and whispering. This morning I got out of the shower and thought I heard a deep guttural growl echo down the hallway. The walls seemed to breathe, and lights seemed to buzz with electrical activity while lights dim, flare, and burn out on a daily basis. Wow. You better get to burying. I fear my obsessive use of the Soothsayer has given Goliath a taste of my world. I've opened the door enough for them to see the other side, but I don't think I've given them enough space to come through just yet. Last night I dreamed again. A man, woman, and her mother, fighting amongst themselves until a knife was pulled, and then I awoke in a hot sweat, once again finding myself on the floor of the attic. I received an email from Kazi asking why I haven't destroyed the board yet. He assumed as much after his run of injuries and bad luck continued to snowball since we last spoke. He kept referring to the love, lust, murder triangle. Okay, this is actually telling us how to beat the game, I bet. Love, lust, murder triangle of the spirits that keep within the confines of the Soothsayer, a context that is lost on me at the moment. Things are getting intensely frightening here. Not only am I hearing and feeling strange things, I am now seeing apparitions and mirrors in the shadows of the house. God help me. If Kazi's medicine man feels his suggestions can help me, then it's time for me to take his advice seriously. I ran full pelt into the park behind my house with a shovel in hand and dug a hole deep enough that not even 100 years of natural erosion would uncover the Soothsayer. Sweaty and dirty, I returned to the house to collect that infernal board. To my dismay, when it came time to remove the board from the safe I had placed it in, I realized that I had forgotten and misplaced the access code. In a rage, I kicked and screamed, slamming doors in my wake. My one chance to disburden myself of the guilt, bad luck, and pain I have unleashed upon myself and my friends was gone until I could piece together the code for the safe. Here I now sit, hearing the whispers again, speaking lies, all of it lies. Goliath and the Soothsayer are not to be trusted. They may manipulate our lives or demand reverence and payment for our dabbling with the Soothsayer, but we are all empowered by our privileged existence. They can have the last shreds of my desperate sanity, but they will never take my soul without a fight. Those words still echo in my thoughts. You are mine. Payment indeed. They are coming for me now. I can hear their screams and demands getting louder and louder with each moment that passes. The stairs, the hallway, outside this door right now. Consummate the vows of defeat. Dear God. And that's where the document ends. So, what on earth do we do with that information? We have various pieces. But what do we do with them? So this is where I have to actually find out where to go and put all this stuff together. Oh, the closet's lit up now? There's a bright light coming from behind this door, not to mention a deep guttural growl coming from the same area. I'm not sure I want to be going in there, but we did, and there's a key. This is the safe code. Heart, square, circle. Wait a minute. Oh, okay, so it'd be L, M? Would that be the code? So it's love, lust, murder is the code here. So LOVELUSTMURDER. Access granted. Beautiful. Here it is. This is it, the Soothsayer that my brother obsessed over in his diary. Could this be the cause of his disappearance and all of the crazy things I've witnessed in this house? My brother mentioned that I have to bury this board, split into 7 pieces. Only then will his soul be released. All right, so now we can go out here, and I believe this key that we got goes here. Yep. And here we are. Brother, use the Soothsayer. Save my soul. End yourself. The Ouija divining glass that's usually used with the Ouija board. In this case, the Soothsayer. Unless I'm going to use this with the board, I might just leave it right here. So let me go ahead and grab the board. Inventory. Do we have... So how do I... It's moving on its own. I'm not, Why? It says you? It's gonna say you are mine. You are mine. Try again for the alternative ending. Yes. Let's try that again. So I don't think we need to... Oh! National parks around here are beautiful in the summer. However, this time of the year, the fog adds an eerie atmosphere. It said you have to split it up into 7 pieces. Can I leave, or do I have to... Placed all 7 religious-themed objects in the hole. And the Soothsayer. Did we do it? Did we break Goliath's power? And so Goliath the Soothsayer was no more, buried deep under the topsoil of a secluded national park and nigh a chance in hell of the demonic entities trapped within its physical confines, escaping to terrorize anyone again. And while the mystery of my brother's disappearance will continue to be an unsolved case, his direction before succumbing to the legion of the board would set me on the path to ensure his will would be carried out. And I continue onward in this world, wiser from the ordeal and with the knowledge that greater powers looks over us all, some with envious eyes, and some with a kind benevolence. So, there you have it. 2 old-school Flash horror games that brought back a lot of memories. I know for a fact I never finished that Goliath the Soothsayer game when I was a kid, but I do remember that attic. I bet I couldn't find that hook lying on the top of the table. I would imagine that got a lot of people stuck. But regardless, that was a fun adventure we went on together. I love you guys very much. Please be safe, and I'll see you in the next one.